Lawyers of Reddit, what was the weirdest case you worked on? I'm a lawyer, but this was actually a mediation I handled. While in law school, a woman was seeking a restraining order against another woman because she alleged she stole her zebras. I live in densely populated Southern California, so I was a bit flummoxed. Turns out the woman actually did own zebras. No evidence any were stolen, and I really don't believe they were stolen by the person she alleged to have stolen them. Apparently the cops didn't either. Other than that, I work in probate, so most of my stories are on the sad side of weird. I did have one sibling almost sue another sibling over their parents' Santa Claus collection. I also had my 50-plus-year-old client send her sister co-trustee a gif of the evil queen while in a confrontation over the administration of a trust, and I had to explain to her why that wasn't appropriate. If you don't mind, what was law school like, and how did you decide to go? I'm mildly interested in it, and would like to know more to see if it could be in my future. I just finished my first year of undergrad, so it would be far future. One time I defended an apartment complex who was sued by a blind tenant for violating the Americans with Disabilities Act. Plaintiff's gripe was she wanted a parking spot right in front of her door. Obviously, plaintiff was not capable of driving and didn't have a car. She wanted the parking spot in case friends came over. She didn't want them to have to walk as far to get to her apartment. The part that made it really weird was she already had an assigned parking spot like 3 feet away from the one she was demanding. She wanted the absolute closest parking spot to her door, or it was discrimination, even though she didn't own and couldn't operate a car. She just couldn't see reason. I'll see myself out be going now. I can actually understand this if the argument was so that she would have the absolute shortest walk when going somewhere with a friend who came to pick her up. Problem is, all handicap spaces, even assigned ones, are deemed equally sufficient depending on level. Given the crosshatch extra space ones would be a level up. Not a lawyer, but work for a law firm. We do a lot of divorces. We had some people spend a bunch of money on cat custody. Who will get the cat? We had another client that same week spend a lot of money on hat custody. Client had a really sweet hat, but his ex wanted it. We also had a stalker of a celebrity call in and try to get a case started for custody of the celeb's kid. Are you married? Spiritually married, yes, but not legally married. Are you on the birth certificate? No. Is it your kid? Not technically. Turns out the only time this person met the celebrity is going to their shows, trying to sneak backstage, and getting kicked out. Needless to say, we did not take the case. Lol. Stalker stories like that legit terrify me. Sovereign citizens, just nutty, and only a little scary crazy old ladies with nothing better to do than sue people. Just angry and mean pimps, drug dealers, dangerous, but no more terrifying than a lame clown. Stalkers are terrifying. Craziest cases are those sovereign citizen people who refuse to acknowledge the authority of the trial court. They create this word salad about the Constitution, maritime law, corporate entities, etc. Another time a woman wanted to charge her ex-boyfriend for stealing her cat. Her evidence: the cat was missing for 2 days. When she returned, she smelled like cigarette smoke. Ex is a smoker, ergo, he stole the cat. When she returned, she smelled like cigarette smoke. Ex is a smoker, ergo, he stole the cat. I mean, she might not be wrong, but the cat is back. Why bring this to court at all? I mean, in theory, pain and suffering. If someone actually stole my dog, and using pets as playing cards is a very common domestic abuse tactic, I'd want the person who had put me and my dog through that ordeal to pay. I do not agree to join with this comment. I'm a free man on the land and you will create joinder with me. Not a lawyer, but work at a law firm. There's a case where a crazy lady's neighbor was allowed to have chickens in their yard. So she bought pigs, and the hoe or city stepped in and made her get rid of them. It was a suburban area. In retaliation, this lady buys 5,000 chickens from Tyson and unleashed them into her half-acre backyard. The chickens all die, obviously. She sued the trucking company that brought the chickens for defective chickens and negligent infliction of emotional distress because her daughter had to view the gore of 5,000 dead chickens in her backyard. She was pro-SE, of course. If the 5,000 Tyson chickens were already in nugget form, it would have been less of a problem. That would have been more problematic for me after I gained 300 pounds from eating 5k nugs, buddy. 5,000 chicken nuggets. Challenge accepted. Not a lawyer, but I know a guy who was interning in a law firm, and he ended up getting sued by one of the top lawyers at the firm for damages over a lost case folder. The lawyer ended up having to drop the suit a few days later when he discovered that, in the process of moving into a new office, he had just left the missing folder in his old office. This was apparently also a rite of passage, and just about everybody who works at the firm had been sued by this lawyer at some point. I guess he hadn't been fired because they knew it would be a total nightmare. This was apparently also a rite of passage, and just about everybody who works at the firm had been sued by this lawyer at some point. This may actually be true, in that it was intentional. Basically get a feel for how the new guys react to getting personally sued for a frivolous lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer, but a legal assistant. I manage the office by myself sometimes, when my boss has court hearings or something like that. One time I got a call from a lady, and she told me that the German government, I live in Germany, tried to poison her by ordering a local radio station to spray poison at her front door. Also, she was convinced that the government was sending her subliminal messages through the newspaper. Then she started talking about chemical trails and HARP. She wanted us to submit her case to court by suing the Federal Republic of Germany. Had to inform her that we couldn't take her as a client. I actually feel pretty bad for her, and I hope she gets the help she needs. Not a lawyer, but one of the car dealerships my dad worked for had a commercial in the 80s where they used a guy dressed up in a gorilla outfit, and the dealership had a whole jungle theme. In one of the commercials they said, like, come down and get a new whatever car it was for 10,000 bananas. Some guy showed up with a truck full of 10,000 bananas the next week and wanted the car. It ended up in court and the banana guy won from it being deemed false advertisement. The average weight of a banana is 180 grams. The cheapest variety of bananas around here usually costs 1 kilo 10,000 bananas will cost 1,800 euros. That was a good deal. Clark at EUI trial where the accused presented the red-headed Irishman stereotype defense. Dude crashed his car wasted at like noon on a Sunday a mile from his house. Not guilty. He testified saying he went home after he hit a rock to look for his dog that had jumped out of the car. He was upset about the crash, so he had a shot and a beer before returning to the scene. He was found guilty of evading responsibility for hitting a mailbox and received a $150 fine. Not a lawyer, but I almost sat on the jury for a dumb sounding case. Old lady bought a car for her grandkid and the grandkid's spouse. Grandkid plus spouse drive the car to Mexico on holiday, where the car gets stolen. Old lady then sues the dealership for the cost of the car. Not sure how they tried justifying the suit, or how turned out. They let the whole pool of potential jurors hear what the case was about, then dismissed half of us, including me. Lawyer in the hospitality industry. My firm had a case where plaintiffs sued our client because plaintiffs claimed they brought their baby into our client's pool. Another baby shat in the pool, and their baby got salmonella. As a result, there was no evidence that the other baby even had salmonella. Their baby ended up being fine with no lasting health effects, and we won on summary judgment. Depends on the state. In my state, pretty much if it has wheels, and you can put it in the streets. I just found out New Hampshire doesn't require car insurance. Gonna be real careful around New Hampshire drivers from now on. Mennonites do not carry insurance. They consider it a form of gambling. Not a lawyer, but my uncle is. He had one case where a lady let her dogs loose in a bed bath and beyond to attack a lady who was suing her. Then at the trial, brought a giant stuffed dog with her for no reason. Giant stuffed dog with her for no reason. Psychological warfare. Ladies and gentlemen of the comments section, I'm immensely disappointed in the lack of Harvey Badman references. Did you get that thing I sent you? Yeah. Did you get that thing I sent you? Anytime a pro-se opposing party is involved with a posse comitatus in divorce court, determining custody and visitation with pets is always amusing and kind of sad. Someone needs to link the story of the lawyer who evicted the ghost. That was wonderful noir writing with heart. I'm on mobile, so this is the best I can do. People were trying to smuggle cup of noodles into North Korea. Sigh. Didn't work on it, but I'll leave this gem here. Tales from the law. I'll just leave this here. Man got sued for eating pickles.